Hi, this is Paul Hoyt, the CEO of Ascending Harvest, along with my best buddy, business partner, and resident genius, Shane McKenna. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the progress of the Ascending Harvest project with our crowdfunding campaign that's coming up 1 week from tomorrow on September 19th. We're really excited about that. Then a little later, we're going to talk to you about achieving excellence. So Shane, say hello to the folks.
Hello, folks. And I just want to share something. I talked to one of my good artist friends on the phone this morning, and he hand paints furniture in a style that he calls gypsy art. And he is donating one of his gypsy art tables to the silent auction for our launch on September 19th. So go to ascendingharvest.com to our launch party page and sign up for the launch party. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I think we've got somewhere around or maybe a little bit more than $20,000 worth of goods and services that we have in gift baskets that we're going to raffle off, and also silent auction items.
I think it's more than that. I think it's more like $30,000 or $40,000 worth of gifts and services right now, especially the way they're coming in, because what we find is we got another member of our team, Abraham Tinklepaw, is calling friends, and it seems like everybody wants to pitch in because this is a cause that everybody can get behind. When we talk about using revolutionary technology to help feed families around the world, the people who need it the most, I mean, it really triggers people. It really gives them a little bit of a zing or a buzz. You know, they notice it right away, and they want to help too, because being able to give to other people is in itself a tremendous blessing. So we are offering, hundreds or thousands of people the opportunity to share their blessings with those who need it the most, and we're finding a great reception amongst almost everybody. So we are very, very excited about that.
Yes, and I keep looking down because I'm checking the messages. Sometimes people message me during these broadcasts. They want to usually just say hi, but sometimes they have a question. So we want to, if you see us looking down or looking away from the camera, it's just that we're trying to respond in this live, unscripted fashion that we have of presenting this information.
It is fairly unscripted. We do, however, occasionally talk about what we're going to talk about beforehand. But while it may be unscripted, it's not totally unplanned. It's just kind of unrehearsed and improvisational. So
yeah, it's definitely improvisational because we have never prepared a script. We've just said, okay, let's just talk about this and this and this.
And a few minutes ago, we decided that today we were going to talk about achieving excellence.
Yeah.
What it means to be excellent, and what it means to be excellent in the context of Ascending Harvest, in the company that we're creating, in the way that we run our business, but most importantly, excellence in the products that we're going to be delivering to families who need them the most. We each have a little bit different perspective on that, and I'm going to let Shane share his perspectives to start off with, because he's not only an engineer, but he's also an artist. So when he thinks about excellence in products, he thinks about it from an engineering perspective, and he thinks about it from an artist perspective too. So tell us what that means to you, Shane.
Well, I have always been in the pursuit of excellence. So a little bit of history. When I was growing up, I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandfather, who was a double amputee, and we worked the farm and ranch. And my grandfather was a real stickler about work getting done in a particular way and getting done well. And it only took a couple of times of me working all day long and him saying, "No, okay, now go tear all that out and start over and do it right," before I learned, boy, I better get this right, and I better pay attention to what I'm doing. And there was no phoning it in. You couldn't you couldn't half measure it. You had to really seek to do the job well because we didn't have the time to do the job over. And that's something that my grandpa said over and over again, is we're going to do it right because we don't have time to do it over. And I think that just became habitual for me to seek excellence. So in the engineering world, we have lots of ways that we seek excellence. We want excellence in the performance of the product. We also want to fine-tune our manufacturing process where if you're making 10,000 units and you can save 3 seconds on a process in manufacturing those units, that's 3 seconds time 10,000 units. And that adds up to productivity. So we look for every tiny increase in productivity, which is actually, seeking higher excellence. We also, when we're engineering the product, we look where we can best add material or how we can create shapes in the material so that we get the best mechanical characteristics out of that material. So, for example, let's say a swing arm on a motorcycle. If you notice, swing arms on a motorcycle have progressed so that now they have motorcycles that have just a single swing arm rather than forks. Rather than having a rear fork swing arm, they have a single swing arm. And the way that they're able to achieve that is by precisely manufacturing with material in critical areas so that they can get a stronger, lighter mechanical member to hold that rear tire. And when you look at a process like that, where you have a machine that's applying a tremendous amount of torque and force and impacting bumps and things, the level of attention to detail to get to where we are now is built upon over 100 years of experience and trial and error and continuous refinement. So getting to excellence is a long and evolving process. As an artist, when I built my art company, my stated goal was I want to build the world's most expensive furniture. And in my genre, I achieved that goal. And the reason that I set that particular goal is I wanted to have products that had a high enough value in them that I could reach for excellence in that product, because it is my habitual nature to seek for excellence. So I knew that I could not produce a mediocre product and make a living. I would put too much energy into the product naturally. So I chose the market segment that best fit my personality, which is reaching for excellence.
Wow. So you bring both engineering excellence and artistic excellence. Talk to me a little bit about how engineers, oftentimes try to over-engineer their products. They have goals, performance goals, especially for load-bearing bridges and pedestrian walkways and things like that. But they also try to over-engineer things like crazy to put in some sort of a margin of safety.
Yes, in the industry we call that safety factor. And we have very sophisticated software and mathematics that we use to test especially structural members, things like bridges, furniture, safety rails, walkways, the structure of buildings and houses, highways, anything that is going to have a potential impact with human safety. We put a lot of energy into the engineering of that particular product or device or structure. And the rule of thumb is a safety factor of 3 or greater. And what that means, let's say that you have a safety cable, for example. You have a safety cable that's going to support something that's hung overhead where people can be walking under that. And if it fell, that would be catastrophic and life-threatening. So we will look at the weight of what is being suspended, and we will make sure that the cables and the fasteners can hold at least 3 times the weight and forces that we're working against. So if it's something that's suspended outdoors and might be subjected to high winds, we not only look at the weight, but we look at the force of the wind on that object, and we ensure that all of the structure members and the fasteners can withstand at least triple the forces that are expected to be seen on that structure or object. And so that over-engineering, when we talk about over-engineering, what we're really doing is we're putting a safety factor in there. And I can tell you from personal experience on projects that I've worked on where weight is not a factor, where we're not as concerned about the weight of an object, for example, a machine in a manufacturing environment. I've never had a project manager or a production manager and come to me and complain and say, hey, you put 50 pounds too much steel in this machine. No, but I guarantee you, if you put 1.5 pounds too little steel so that it ends up breaking, you're going to hear about it.
Well said. So how do you take this passion for achieving excellence, this passion for doing it right the first time, this passion for making sure something's engineered, especially with regards to any safety concerns, and this passion for artistic excellence that you have, and use all that to creating the products that we have, the human-powered hydroponics products that we have at Ascending Harvest?
Well, it's important to balance excellence with productivity. So that's one of the first things we look at is it's easy to over-engineer a product. That's the simplest thing to do in the world. It's just like, okay, let's just add more structure. Let's add more volume. Let's put a bigger motor in it. Let's put a larger pump in this thing. Over-engineering is one of the easiest things to do, but you also have to look at productivity. So there's this balance of achieving excellence in the performance and offsetting that with the productivity that you need to achieve. And there's lots of different things that go into productivity. So in terms of Ascending Harvest and our products, we've got to balance the materials and the sizing and everything that goes into that. It's got to be economically productive. It's got to be weight productive, because these things are going to be shipped, and sometimes shipped as luggage on airplanes to be delivered by volunteers. Mm-hmm. And we've got to look at the ability of a user to be able to, if they needed to move the system. There's so many different factors that we look at, and we balance those against the strength and the materials that are in the system. And we find the right balance of the strength and flexibility of the system compared to cost and weight and ease of manufacturing and dozens of other factors. So when we're developing a product, we are factoring and balancing all of these issues, and it's extremely complex, and it takes a massive amount of effort literally hundreds of hours of effort go into designing a quality, excellent product.
And that's a product that can be built inexpensively and quickly with reasonable amount of effort too. I've got about 20 years experience in manufacturing, and a lot of the very large manufacturing companies I used to work for, had a team of engineers that were design engineers, and they had a whole nother team of engineers that they called manufacturing engineers.
Right.
Manufacturing engineers' job was to take the design engineers' specifications and turn it into something that could be easily manufactured. They created the bills of material and the routings and the instructions and all of the steps necessary to make that happen. And I think what's the beautiful thing about working with you is you have both of those skill sets. You not only have the design, the artistic, the creative genius that goes into it, but you also have the in-depth knowledge of understanding what it's really going to take to build this thing and to build it accurately and effectively at a very reasonable cost.
Yes, that's actually the first half of my career was involved in manufacturing and factory automation. And I started out as a mechanic and a welder and a millwright, an equipment specialist. And so machinist, and all these different fabrication and mechanical disciplines were what I had in my tool belt, which is why I easily transitioned into a field engineer in that area of expertise in. And so in my early career, I was primarily working in a lot of factories. And working on equipment and repairing, fixing, diagnosing, modifying, writing code for equipment. So I'm very well versed in manufacturing processes and how we can manufacture things so that we have all that strength and robustness in them, but that we can keep our manufacturing costs as low as possible so that we pass more value on to the people who need our product to sustain their life. Because we have a humanitarian product, for me, it's been extremely important to reduce the cost of our product, because it doesn't matter if our product could sell for $175 as a consumer product, which it easily can. What's important to me is how inexpensively can we produce this product and still have it be easy to set up, operate, and be robust enough to last for years and years. And what manufacturing processes. And so some people have asked me, why are we using pre-molded containers, such as 5-gallon buckets and 13-gallon container systems? Why are we using those? And the answer is because those are manufactured in huge quantities. And for us to reinvent that wheel, we would have to charge an extra $12 or $15 for our product to get these to people in refugee camps and single moms and people that are under food, that have food insecurity. And to me, the aesthetics of a off-the-shelf plastic container is worth saving $12 or $15 on the delivery price of a product. So these are the kinds of things that, because it's a humanitarian product, we sacrifice some aesthetics and some custom molded components in order to put performance before the aesthetic beauty of the product.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, and when we get to some of our other product line extensions, when we get to large-scale commercial indoor farms, when we get to our consumer residential versions of this product, in companies and versions to come, we will focus on the cosmetic aspects of them and the aesthetics of those, but we don't need to right now. Right now, it's all about function, durability, low cost, rapid time in getting these things to market. And that's what excellence looks like to us at this point in time.
Right. That's exactly right. Excellence should always be measured by your desired end result.
Yeah.
Your desired end result should drive your excellence.
That's
And
well said.
And if you lose sight of your desired end result, it's very easy to get lost in the process and get sidetracked and go down paths that are going to frustrate your whole performance as a company and as a product. You've got to focus on your end result and put your priority on where you can achieve the most value towards that end result.
That's a beautiful segue into what I was going to talk about when it comes to achieving excellence, from my perspective. When I was a young man growing up, my focus on excellence was really kind of egotistically focused. It was focused, for me, I wanted to be excellent because I wanted to be the smartest guy in the room. I wanted to get the best grade on every test that was ever put out and the highest grade on every paper, and be number one, be the first in line all the time. And I became what I call addicted to my own cleverness. And recently, the universe has taught me to let go of that addiction a little bit. But that was my pursuit of excellence. And over the last 17 years as a business consultant, I've worked with hundreds of business owners to help them figure out what excellence meant to them and to help them step into greater leadership excellence. I'll give you just a small example of that. One of the things I constantly talk about is the passion for being perfectly clear on what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it. Just those really simple things, what, why, and how. And we are constantly focused here at Ascending Harvest on what we are going to do. What we are going to do is produce incredibly revolutionary technology, the human-powered hydroponic systems that will help families in refugee camps and developing countries grow their own food and empower them. The why because of that is because it really touches our heart to have this opportunity to make such an incredible difference in the lives of thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even millions of families. Every time I think about a child who's 4 or 5 or 6 years old going out to that cucumber plant and picking their first cucumber and savoring the taste of that and getting the nutrition from that, you can tell it just really gets me excited. And I hope it gets you excited too. We want that to be the why of your participation in this project, because you have the opportunity to help people just the same way that we have the opportunity to help them. And we're also very, very clear on the how. I'm a big fan of project plans and making sure that we know exactly what we're going to do and when we're going to do it, and budget and timelines. We're very focused on this crowdfunding campaign as our chosen way to get the initial funding for this project. We know exactly what we're going to do to launch the crowdfunding campaign. We know exactly what we're going to do when we get that money in to take this project, to take this company to the next level. So to me, that's what achieving excellence in leadership looks like. It is helping the team understand exactly what we're going to do, why we're going to do it, and how we're going to do it to keep everybody focused and pushing in exactly the same direction. And that's my commitment to Ascending Harvest and achieving excellence by honoring this incredible vision that Shane and I have been presented with.
Well, I could tell you, Paul, you may have let go of the need to satisfy your ego with excellence, but you have risen to the head of the class using your organizational skills and your business structure skills and your project management skills to take this project to the next level and really put us in a position to launch it in a way that is going to bring great success, and that success being feeding hundreds, thousands, and as you say, perhaps even millions of people. I absolutely know that we have progressed beyond possibility, and we are on the path of inevitability, that this is going to happen. we are going to witness the impact in families' lives, and that's only going to grow and spread as people witness the success of families enjoying their own nutritious food that they grew, and they're like, how are those people growing that food? They've never grown anything in their lives. And once people recognize that success is coming from a systematic approach, a product that allows people to use a very, very simple system to grow their own food. Once that's witnessed in these communities, it's only going to spread as more and more people are saying, I'd really like to grow my own tomato or my own watermelon or my own cucumber. And it's going to bring that empowerment to those communities. And as you can see, both Paul and I are extremely passionate about that end goal and what it means for that individual. Yes, we're going to collectively help a lot of people, but imagine that individual and the life change that they experience and the new opportunities that they have to lift themselves out of poverty through nutrition and food security.
That's a great vision. And each and every one of you listening to this recording has an opportunity to be on this team with us, to share in our joy of helping, countless number of families with their food and nutrition. Go to ascendingharvest.com, sign up for our list, pay attention to these daily Zoomcasts, as I call them, because the crowdfunding campaign is launching on September the 19th. Contribute what you can, but please share with your network, your social media networks, your email lists, anybody and everybody you see. Say, hey, have you heard about Ascending Harvest? This is our chance to use revolutionary technology to feed the world. We really would appreciate it, and I know you'll gain a great blessing from being a part of this winning team. We want to share a little blessing with one of you in particular who has already signed up for our list now. At the end of our daily Zoomcast, we always give away one of these human-powered hydroponic systems. We do that by, I go to our back-end system and download all of the email addresses, assign them all a random number, sort them into order. Shane gives me a random number between 1 and 10,000, and we figure out who is the winner for the day. What's our number for the day, Shane?
Okay, so I'm pushing the generate now. Our number is 7754. 7754. I'm trying to get it so the camera can see that. There we go, 7754.
7754, and the random number that's closest to 7754 is one of our favorite people, Kathleen O'Bannon, the Carrot Lady. Kathleen O'Bannon is the winner of her human-powered hydroponic system on today's Zoomcast drawing. Congratulations, Kathleen. Kathleen,
she is going to be so excited because she loves organic and natural foods. And our system allows you to grow at a higher standard than the organic certification standard.
Yeah.
Our system allows you to grow 100% naturally and have a higher performance than what you experience in an organic garden, and yet it's 100% natural and organic.
Perfect. Well, Kathleen, we'll send you a little email, and we'll send you a system. When they are first manufactured, we expect to be in the first quarter of 2019. Either that, or you can donate it to a family in need in your name. We appreciate all who you are and participation in this campaign, and we appreciate everybody who's listening to this recording today. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening to us talk about our passion for achieving excellence with Ascending Harvest. We'll be back to you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have a special guest. We're going to interview one of our sponsors. We're still confirming that, so we'll give the name later. But tune in tomorrow. We're going to have a special guest for you. And keep this on your radar screen because the crowdfunding campaign is launching 1 week from tomorrow on September the 19th, and we're starting to get excited about that. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to leave the last words to Shane to say his goodbye.
We appreciate you so much for tuning into these broadcasts and sharing our vision and sharing our launch with your friends we deeply appreciate, because we know that we can't do this without you. So thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to those who are following the progress of our project and are excited about our technology and are excited to help people in need empower themselves to grow their own food. We deeply appreciate you. I would even say we love you for doing so. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Talk to you tomorrow. See you. Bye.
Bye.